Hey, this is old John. Today, YouTubers, I'm going to make a video on replacing the pressure relief valve on my water heater. My wife, who was down running on her treadmill, which I'll leave a link to that video where we put it together. It's a nice Nordic Track 1750. It's a commercial treadmill which has internet connectivity. Anyway, she noticed there was dripping coming out of this pipe. I have this pipe slanted right now. It normally goes straight up and down, so we can get the bucket under it. It's too long. This should only extend down to like 6 inches above the floor. That way you can get a bucket under if it starts to leak. But anyway, she noticed it was leaking. You can see it dripping, and that's because this pressure relief valve is leaking. It was also leaking around the edge of the valve. So, but the way this operates, if the pressure gets too high, over 150 pounds per square inch coming in from the city, to keep the tank from rupturing, this will open up. There's a spring in here and it's holding this closed, but if the pressure exceeds that compressed spring, it'll open and let some of the pressure bleed off. And you should exercise this every so often to get any debris, mineral deposits and so forth that might be building up in here. When you pull this, water will come out. And they recommend you do this every so often. Some say as often as monthly, and just to flush it out. Let's see, it's still dripping, so that means the valve is not working correctly. This also will let water out if the temperature in here gets above 210 degrees Fahrenheit, which means it could start boiling, and so it'll let water out at that point too. So it still works, but it's leaking. Some say you should replace these every 5 years. This has not been replaced, and we've lived here since 2003, so that's 15 years. So I'm going to drain the water down, and I'm going to do it through the faucet. I've got a bathroom just on the other side of the wall here. I'm going to shut the water off here first to keep the water from coming into the water heater. These valves are just like on your outside spigot. It's better to have a single valve that turns like this in case your water heater started leaking real badly and you need to close this immediately. So we're going to go ahead and close this so no more water will come in to the water heater. And then turn the water heater off. If you have an electric, just turn it off if there's a switch here or on a breaker. I'm going to turn the temperature down too. That way it won't want to come on. I have an off switch here. Mine's gas. It's fed by gas. So I'm shutting that off because you don't want it to try to heat the water while you're doing this. Now I'm going to drain the water heater. I need to drain it down to approximately here, a few inches below where this comes out. I'm going to do that. You can do it through your drain valve if you have one. You put a hose on it, or if it's near a drain, you can just let the water run into that, or do it through a hose, or use a bucket like this. I'm going to do it through a downstairs bathroom, which is just on the other side of the wall here. So we'll do that now. So this is about 4 feet off the ground, so should be able to drain it pretty much to where we want it, hopefully here. It's going to drain pretty slowly because there's very little pressure since we got it shut off coming into the water tank. May have to drain it some to the bottom if it's going to go this slowly. So I've probably drained a couple gallons by now. May not be enough, we'll have to see. I'll dump this water. Okay, here's the new valve. Got it at the local hardware store. I'll make sure it has a pressure rating of 150 psi and 210 degrees Fahrenheit. Costs about $10. They probably run $10 to $20. This is called a universal one. There are two types, and I'll show you a picture of the other type. It has a longer copper shaft on it, and then probably a shorter tube here, but I'm not sure about that. But anyway, there again, this is considered universal. So this is what the inside looks like without any debris. Here's where the valve closes at, and you can get mineral deposits here. That's probably what I have. But the spring holds this closed until the pressure exceeds the limits, and then it'll open up and let this go up and let water come out of here and relieve the pressure. So I'm going to put Teflon tape on this. You can use plumber's clay or whatever it's called. You want to wrap this clockwise because when you're turning it in, you don't want it to wind off. So we'll put a couple of wraps on it. Okay, so that's ready to be screwed in. Okay, I'm going to remove this vertical piece from the valve, the old valve, just using a large crescent wrench. I need to cut about 6 inches off of this pipe also while I've got it on. Okay, now it's loose enough you can use your hand. It's got plumber's putty on it, I think, or something. Or it could be Teflon. We'll put the bucket underneath it now. So we'll go ahead and try taking this off and see how much water we still have. Using a large pipe wrench. There's the inside of the valve. You can see it's got mineral deposits on it. Okay, I was starting to get some drainage, so I didn't have it completely drained down, so I just real quickly put the new one in. Keep from leaking. Also, we don't want to over tighten it. We have to get it turned to the down position. It's pretty close. So we'll turn the water on and see if it doesn't leak. Pressurizing the tank. Okay, I'm going to cut this tubing about 6 inches off. Here's the bottom, which has a lot of mineral deposits on it, and that green is from the chlorine mixing with the copper. But there's a tubing cutter, and we just put it on like so. So we tighten it down, and we just start to turn it around, and then we just keep tightening it as we turn it, cutting more and more into the pipe. You don't want to cut too deeply too soon, or then it compresses the pipe itself on the edges. Keep tightening it. You can feel it loosening as you turn it. See, it's cutting. And there it is. And then it's not so critical on this, since this is not going to be put against another pipe, but you would, there's a little inward bowing, and you just take this and then turn it and get rid of the rough edges also, and any compression that you did. That's basically it. So we're ready to thread it back on the water heater valve. Okay, so I'm threading the vertical piece in. I don't see any leaks. We were leaking before here at the bottom of where the valve goes in, and of course I put new Teflon tape on, so that appears to have stopped it. This doesn't have to be real tight because it's not under any pressure. If water comes out, it'll go right down. So now it's 6 inches off the bottom like it's supposed to be by code. Got a fan running here to dry any of the moisture. Now we can put the bucket under it. In good shape. I think the project's done, YouTubers. If you have any comments, leave them. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. Click on the bell so you can be notified when I put up new videos. I have over 200 videos, 250, and I'm always adding do-it-yourself videos especially, but other things, solar, generators. So I'll show you my playlist here at the end of this video. This is Old John signing out. Here's my channel. I have lots of playlists. I'll show you here. I do solar systems. I have some spirituality, John Deere mower videos, getting rid of pests in the lawn, Nordic track repairs, computer repairs and reviews of purchases like this laptop I'm showing this video on, review of my Generac power washer and use of it, other power equipment that I get, wood projects. I built a nice center here for the TV and so forth. I have landscape lights, refrigerator repairs, generator hookup and maintenance, and then other interior electrical wiring and so forth projects. Also lawn projects, so lawn equipment and so forth. So if you're interested, click on the bell and subscribe, and give me any comments on any other type of videos you'd like to see also. This is Old John signing out.